Well, the garden's planted, and here's a look back at the last week I spent planting it. And there you can see my tomato plants are pretty wild from starting them too early. And let's go down the garden, look around. Here's the 2 bins of eggplants. I put them in a couple days ago, and already they're starting to get flea beetles on them. I'll show you that in a little while, but time to put some more peppers in. Now, I had a bunch of my shorter stakes that I used for the peppers and eggplants break off and rot. The smaller ones don't last as long, and I decided I was going to try fiberglass fence posts. So I went out and bought a batch of them and got a big surprise. Actually, last year they were like 99 cents a piece, and this year they're $1.79 each. So inflation's really driving up the price on everything, but I decided to go for them anyway, and hopefully these will last forever. We'll see. And they'll be easy to store and stuff like that, wipe down and everything. So here I'm sticking in some of the pepper plants. They are beautiful, and you see in the background the boss is helping me water some. We've had like only 2 days of rain in the last 30 days, and everything is bone dry. Having raised beds, the water drains right through them and doesn't last long. So until the plants get good roots, you got to keep up on, watering them and let them go dry a little bit, and just get them to the point where the roots grow. Anyways, here's another bed of peppers, finishing up here. And they're easy to plant. Just pop them out of cups, tear the roots apart a little bit so they go all different ways. And then one thing you need when you're planting is a good roll of string, because we get a lot of wind up here, and I've had plants just bend over in the wind and snap off that I just put out. So it does take a while for them to toughen up. And we're having extremely hot weather right now. So it really does make them wilt and stuff. But as they go in, I'm trying to soak the beds good. And this here I'm putting the tomatoes inside the garden area here. So I'll drive some of those stakes in. And those are the wooden stakes I made probably 6 years ago. And I'm surprised they're still pretty good. A couple more years and they'll be, ready to break off. But still doing good. And these beds aren't real deep, so what I'm doing is I'm digging as deep as I can a trench. And these tomatoes are really overgrown from kind of starting too early and just leaving them all, tight together in the trays to harden off. So I'm just going to pull it out of the cup, tear the roots apart a little bit, and then just lay it down in the trench and pull the stems off wherever they're underground for the most part. Throw them in the hole. Hopefully this will let them, grow some more roots up the stem and help them make it through the dry weather. So that's, tomatoes are pretty tolerant of anything you do to them, I found out. And planting them, I'm putting 4 in a bed, and I shouldn't have a problem unless we get a real rainy season. Then you can, start running into air circulation problems and diseases and stuff. But I'm going to take a chance. I think it's, from the looks of it, we're going to have a very dry season. And it's really almost looks like we're heading into another drought, but we'll see. So it does take a while to get the trenches in there to put them in, but not the easiest way to make sure you've got a little more root area to help survive the drier times. And again, good roll of string is really helpful when you're planting. Pretty amazing how we went from cold, freezing nights in winter to summertime temperatures just about now. It's been really hot every day, and can only spend a couple hours out here in the morning and a couple at night. That's about it. So I did spread this over pretty much a week, getting everything out there and going. And again, throwing another bed of tomatoes here. And a little steak pounder that I made years ago actually works great for, putting them in. But you can see it's not a cloud in the sky, and it basically hasn't been all week when I've been out here working. And again, I'm just going to bury the plants. Doesn't matter what type of tomatoes. I've had good luck just burying them deep and tying them up like that. And you can see it's beautiful compost that I got. I did put a lot of extra compost down this spring, so should have a really good start. As long as the diseases hold off. And boy, finishing up that water pipe down here was one of the best things ever. Down here every night, watering and stuff, and that really helps not having to carry it down. So now let's go outside, and these are the beds out here where I had the tomatoes last year. I'm going to put some peppers in because no animals seem to eat peppers. I've never had a woodchuck or anything eat a pepper or deer, so I could put them out here, I figure. And again, pretty soon I'm going to have to let my grass grow and collect some of it with the cyclone rake, and take and get all these beds mulched too to help hold in the moisture. But for now, I'm just trying to get everything in the ground. And back in the garden, I got some more peppers and another bed in here. Gonna put them in. Either some of the Anaheims there, they need taller poles because they grow like 4 or 5 feet tall. Hopefully they're not as hot this year. Last year they were really hot, and I saved the seed, so I don't know. I'll see. But it's just kind of the same thing over and over again, and just moving around trying to make sure I don't put the same type of plants in the beds I planted last year. And I've got some more tomato plants to throw in over there in the corner. And behind there are the soybeans, Black Panther edamames that we love. So here we are this morning. I'm out just to finish up the final bed and do a walk around and show you what's here and what's going on. And you can see the sun's coming up. It's still cool out. It's going to be about 88 to 90 today and higher humidity. So trying to get out of the sun as quick as I can. And here I'm just finishing up the last bed of cucumbers. Put some poles in there, and I'll put some netting on it later. These are the climbing ones. Hopefully between the fence and the netting they'll be good. And then a couple bush type out in the front there. So these are basically all the pickling cucumbers here. And again, time to make sure everything gets wet and gets a good start. So now let's walk around, and you see cat footprints everywhere. We got a cat that comes out here at night and tears things up. But I did replant the peas that you saw I had the birds pull out in the last video, so they're starting to break through. Some squash there, and either cucumbers just planted, and go a little further down, and either some more tomatoes. We'll go around the corner here. And you can see I got tomatoes along there too, and some dill in that far corner bed there. This one's got some more green beans in it, and that one back there has some Swiss chard and basil and a couple cukes. And this one has the little gherkin cucumbers. I'm trying to grow some gherkins to make gherkin pickles, and some runner beans there that I'm going to try. They were from the Jefferson collection. And more peppers over here. And there's those early beans I've been covering with blankets and stuff. And, some of them are missing. Birds got wild and pulled some of them out. But looks like there should still be a harvest there. Some turnips and onions there. And there's these Alyssa Craig onions down there. I did lose a couple of them, to the drought and stuff, not watering enough. But there's some beets and radishes and some more peas on the fence. Now the eggplants, you can see they're doing pretty good, but they're being attacked already by flea beetles. By the time the sun comes out today, there'll be hundreds of flea beetles on them. So I've got to get something on them, try to get rid of them again. That's a problem every year. I don't know what it is. And there you can see, there's just like a picture of them. There's like 6 of them in that picture. Hard to see, but they're attacking it. So there's the hardneck garlic and some of the leftover softneck I found growing in bins. And again, tomatoes and Black Panther edamames that we love. More tomatoes stuffed in over there. And the shallots, they're really doing good now. They look great. And here's the garlic. It looks like the garlic survived good this year, so we should have some good garlic. That's a soft neck that we always grow. Some white potatoes that were just left over. And some red potatoes in that bin. And there's my carrots. And then there's the blue potatoes in there. So I have red, white, and blue. And this one was supposed to be sweet potatoes. I couldn't find any, so I put tomatoes in there in the end. Let's go outside here and look around now. These are the strawberries that came back. Remember, the deer ate plants and just about pulled them all out last year? Well, they're just amazing this year. There's thousands of berries hidden down there. Pretty soon, another week or 2, I should do a harvest video. And there's some peppers. And these 5-gallon buckets have some of those Jefferson flowers that I started from the Monticello collection. So hopefully they'll make it. Some more zucchini out here, and this is where the okra is. Alright, so up here a little ways you can look. There's that area I threw all those sunflower seeds in I showed you in the last video. Well, there's thousands of them germinating now. I'm going to have to figure out some way to thin them out, but looks like there'll be quite a mixture of sunflowers this year. I still got a little more cleaning up to do, but there's spaghetti squash and those 2 things there. And I have to clean up and mulch that back. And then we get into the butternuts across here. And the little sticks in between the butternuts contain big sunflowers from that Monticello collection also. So we'll see how they are. And these will be thinned out as they grow up a little bit. They were old seeds, so I put extras in. And here's the pumpkins. Remember last year I got stuck paying $13 for a pumpkin. So I saved the seeds, and I'm going to try growing the jack-o'-lanterns this year. And we did have a flock of flamingos move in to keep the chickens company. So now I got quite the mess of birds out there. They're fun to have in the garden, fun to look at and stuff, and hopefully they scare away some animals. Up at the top, you can see the elderberries are turning into a nice hedge up there. 4 of my 5 pear trees that I planted last year survived. In between them, I've planted some gourds. Now these are just a bumpy type gourd that I saved the seeds from, one I bought a couple years ago. They're doing good. And out here, there's some other gourds that are like a rough-looking octopus. They should be. So again, I overplanted them because I just saved seeds, and I'll thin them out once I see which ones are healthiest. So pretty much, that's what it looks like this year, and everything's in. No empty beds left to fill. And birdhouses are getting full. Not always the birds you want, but, happy birds anyway, having babies in there. And the grapes are way behind. Kind of got a late start, but they'll be coming in. And the asparagus are actually terrible. Some kind of weed that has roots that grow underground and spread underground has taken over the asparagus and rhubarb, you can see, and I can't kill them. I've been trying for a couple of years. It looks like it's going to take something like Roundup to kill the underground roots. I'll have to work on that soon. And the horseradish, I'm going to be digging some of that in a little while just to make a video about processing it. This is a quick look at my wife's peony tree, Japanese peonies that really are doing great, and it's one pink one mixed in. And then I look down at those little American cranberry sticks that I stuck in the ground a couple years ago, just little 12-inch tall sticks. Well, this is what they look like now with millions of flowers on them for cranberries, and the birds just love those things, and they stay on them all winter. So I just wanted to, do an update and show you everything's in, ready to go. And hopefully soon we'll see some harvest videos. until then, just sit and wait. Hopefully everybody else out there is getting started, and we all have a great harvest season and, good weather to cooperate from now on. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe.